guys. Okay, so this is my second video and it's gonna be a fun one and hopefully it can be fast. Okay, so today's video is going to be books for beginners. Okay, now I wanted to make this video because I have a lot of friends at school that don't read and are always asking me like, what kind of books do you read? What do you recommend? And so these are recommendations, but these are mainly books that I would recommend to people that don't read that much. Let's hop right into this video. Okay, so the first series that is on my list, these books are very underhyped, and I picked these books up at, well, I picked one of them up at Half Price Books and the other I bought online because they were automatically, I loved them. I thought, I was like, this is amazing. The first book is Blood Will Tell by Samantha Inks. There are 3 books and they are fairly short and sweet. The first one is this girl named Eden. And Eden, she's not a vampire, she is a soul eater. I'm gonna kind of like sum up the back a little bit. So these soul eaters, they have an awakening ceremony. So they eat your soul. It's not that self-explanatory. Same way vampire really drinks blood, but they don't penetrate your skin. Anyways, I'm not good at explaining books, but anyways, I will try my hardest to explain this book. She is in 11th grade and she is having this battle with herself because every time she thinks of doing something bad or doing something herself out of it until she kind of goes through these phases. She has Noah, who is her best friend, but Noah is a warrior of ink, which is they hunt down and kill soul eaters. But if you read this book, you will find out that Eden is not a normal soul eater. She is something completely, not entirely different, not completely different. She's a little bit of both. And I'm not going to give too much away, but you should definitely pick it up. It's something, this is recommendations to everyone. Pick this book up. I'm telling you, you will not regret it. It is so good. You fall in love with Eden the moment you read it, and you will enjoy it. It's amazing, and don't put it aside just because it's soul eaters, because it's something so fantastic. It's not weird and creepy and like Twilight or anything like that. It's really good and it's well written. So I really recommend these books, and as I said, they're not fairly long, they're fairly short, and there's only 3 of them, and you fly by pretty quickly, and they're not that hard to read. So yeah. The next books I want to show you guys are probably ones you guys have already heard of. If not, I'm going to share them to you, and that is the Shatter Me trilogy. The second book I gave to my friend and it got disabled. Yeah, it happens, you know. So anyways, so I have the first one is Shatter Me, the second one is Unravel Me, and the last one is Ignite Me. And can we talk about these covers? If you know the cover problem, you know you can't get these in hardbacks. You have to just get them in paperback and suffer through the pain. The moment they come out with the beautiful hardcover for this book, I will buy all the hardcovers because it's one of my favorite series. We have the novella, which is Unite Me, which has Destroy Me and Fracture Me, Destroy Me in Warner's point of view, and Fracture Me in Adams. And then you also have Juliet's journal if you get this bind up. Her touch is lethal. And there's love triangles. And you should read it because it's good. And there's hotties. And you should read it. So basically, her touch is lethal, and she's in this kind of insane asylum thing, and then they rescue her, and then the government wants to use her to their best abilities, which is fight, but she cannot be controlled, and you will find that out when you read it. It is great. I recommend this book so freaking much. It's fantastic. Next book I recommend is a standalone, and if you don't know this author, or you're not familiar, she writes a lot of contemporary books, and this is the only book, that I have read by her. And that is The Truth About Forever by Sarah Dessen. God. Anyways, this book follows a girl, and she has a boyfriend who is super smart. During the summer, he goes to his brain camp, and she's stuck just doing what she does, and that's being a nerd at the library and whatever. And so when she's out one night doing something, I don't remember, I read this book a long time ago, she meets this people in this catering company, and in the long run, she ends up helping these people in this catering event, and she meets this nice hunk of, I was kind of not going to put these books in here just because they go along with a lengthy series, and that is The Infernal Devices by Cassandra Clare. Now, if you are familiar with The City of Bones, you know that she came out with, is it a prequel in a way? I guess it's kind of a prequel in a way. I did it again, prequel. It's kind of a prequel in a way. But, so basically, it's in the Shadowhunter world, but based in the 1800s. But if you don't know, Shadowhunters are people who fight demons, and so this follows Will, Jem, and Tessa. And Will and Jem are both Shadowhunters, and Tessa, well, nobody really knows what Tessa is until she comes to the Shadowhunter Institute in London. I think it's in London. I don't remember. I read this a long time ago too, but I will reread them eventually. But can we just talk about my awkward shaping books? Can we just oh, there's the small one. And then I have a hardcover. Yeah, but I'm gonna get the new covers just like I did with the City of Bones books because they're my favorite books. Anyways, I really recommend reading the Infernal Devices if you're a beginner. That way you get some of the Shadowhunter world, and if it speaks to you, read City of Bones. Do it. Read the Mortal Instrument series because you will not regret it. The next series I have is Obsidian by Jennifer L. Armentrout. It follows Katie, and she moves next door to a hottie. And this hottie happens to be an alien. And they start getting involved, and she is best friends with his sister, Dee, and they are best friends, and they become good friends, but that's not okay with Damon, and you'll figure out why. So read this book. It's sexy, and it's funny, and it's cute, and I'm in love with Damon Black. He's my bae. This is the first one. The second one is Onyx. The third one is Opal. The fourth one is Origin. And the fifth one is Opposition. And I still don't have Opposition. Oh, and then there's one coming out in his point of view. Oblivion. Ooh, I just pre-ordered it. This series has quite a few books in it, so we're getting up there in those hard books. It's not necessarily hard, but it does have a lot of material in it, so if you're beginning, I don't really recommend this series as much as somebody who would have read beforehand, but I know some people that jump right into it because they can handle it. So if you can handle big series and you're just beginning reading, I recommend this series, and this series is Vampire Academy by Rochelle Mead. If you do not know what this book is about, basically there are technically two types of vampires. You have your Moroi and your Strigoi, and then you have your Dhampir, which are your warriors. And I also read this book a long time ago, but it's obviously my favorite book series. Also, one of my favorite book series says it's not your average vampire book, and you'll see that. Is The Young Elites by Marie Lu. I loved this book. I read it in a day. This blood fever goes over this nation of people, and the people that don't get sick and die are marked, and they have these special abilities. But the king kills anyone that portrays their powers out unwillingly. They get killed or executed because the king can see these people as a threat and see them as unnatural and unhuman. Well, you know, they can't control it, but the king, you know, is evil. Highlight though, you guys see that? It's like, anyways. So it's really good. It follows this girl named Adelina. And she is not a hero. She's not a hero. So if you are looking for a heroine, you're not going to get it. You're not going to get it in her. But it's a good book. Anyways. That I necessarily as a person didn't enjoy. And I got through half of the second one and I quit reading it. So don't yell at me for that when I show you what books these are. But that is The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. And I know I didn't really like it, but other people really do. So I will recommend it to beginners because it is easy to follow. And if you watched the movies, it is a little bit different than the movies, which is why I recommend it. Because if you've seen the movies and you're like a diehard fan for the movies, then read the books. because then you'll have this similar experience and you'll have this connection with the movies. I personally like the movies better, but some people read the books and they automatically fall in love. So the next book I have for you guys is blah, what? Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. And this book recently came out. The second one is coming out in February 9th. And I just read the first chapter because apparently it leaked or something, and I was like, I have to get this book when it comes out. Basically, you have your two kinds of people. You have your reds and your silvers. And your silvers are your higher up. They're basically like royalty. And then you have your reds, who are red-blooded and are basically the ground that silvers walk on. They're treated badly, and it's awful. They're awful. But then you meet Mare Bar, and she is a red, but she has silver powers. A tragedy at the beginning and towards the end, and there's a lot of betrayal, like awful betrayal. It's so good. It's a lot of ups and downs, and it's emotional, but I recommend it like big time. It is very good. Last and final series that I have for you guys is also what I'm going to be explaining you. Me and my friend Alma, who you saw in the other book, we have a challenge going on, and y'all can join in if you would like, but it's the Never Read Challenge, I think is what she called it, the Never Read Challenge, something like that. And basically, we decided to give each other books that we swore we'd never read, and we'd read the series. My series that I have, which is on my list of recommendations because I'm actually growing to love it, that is the Harry Potter series. That's the books that she wanted me to read in exchange for her books. I'm growing to liking it. And I really am looking forward to finishing the series. This one was on my TBR for this month, but I just probably am not going to get to. That's our never-ending challenge, which is basically me reading a series I never thought I would read, and that's Harry Potter, and I'm actually loving it, and I'm actually kind of upset that I didn't get hooked on the bandwagon back in elementary school, because I feel like that would have splurred my book reading into something bigger than it is right now. So, the books that I have her reading are Vampire Academy, because she is not a vampire girl. She doesn't like vampire books. And I was like, well, why not just read it and I'll read Harry Potter? So we basically made up this challenge. I hope you guys join along with us. So that's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and let me know if y'all want anything different in the future. I'm going to be filming a book haul soon. Like, subscribe, like again. Don't like again, because then you don't like it. I have to put all these books back.